It's official, Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2 has been revealed, with a new direction just announced taken in the storyline, not only developing the Season 2 trailer, but revealing all Battle Pass skins and the theme of next season, not to mention the location and what's going on with Peely, so stick around until the end to get all of that and more today. Stop, don't forget before you pick up the Battle Pass or anything from the shop, you enter code FM1 inside here, as it looks completely different now, but it definitely still works, being one of the shortest and easiest codes to enter out there. It would mean the world to me and my dog Charlie the Charcoal Pug, and I'm going to have to purchase another big cutout now, considering, yeah, it looks different in the item shop. Last video I wanted to know the name of this, so here's a bunch of hearted comments on screen right now that got that right. Today, however, I want to know the name of this, so let me know down below in the comments, and if it gets hearted, it could be shown on screen in the next video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, as after all, it only benefits you, with us gifting different subscribers every single day, with some proof for that recently on screen right now. Just before we reveal the location of what's going on with Peely, which is an unfortunate scenario, something else that's unfortunate for Season 2, just like Chapter 3 Season 2 that released, is some controversy before Chapter 5 Season 2 starts. Chapter 3 Season 1 was revolutionary, introducing the Spider-Man mythic and Spider-Man in that Battle Pass, a Fortnite creation of him for the first time, and with the story clearly established, being the Imagined Order versus the Seven very early on, we sadly heard nothing toward the end days of Season 1 and no teasers. The reason for this was due to world events at the time, of course wars happening around the world not making it appropriate to announce a war-themed season, obviously this loading screen being something they scrapped sadly. Well now, despite a good start to Chapter 5 with another conflict between two factions established, being the Underground and also the Society, although it seemed everybody until now forgot about Apple versus Epic still being ongoing behind the scenes due to court proceedings, apparently now it's finally fully over and there won't be any rehearings, and with this making Apple win everything, apparently they've asked the court to order Epic Games to pay Apple upwards of $73 million in legal costs. This may put a strain financially on what they can apply to budget for the next season, however, it can't be too much of a problem because this can't be a coincidence, as Sheena also stated, with them adding these two things to the item shop literally as soon as that became public knowledge. Literally almost taunting Apple saying bring it and they're gonna make it rain. Well yeah, I think that's what Apple wants to hear at this point, but W Epic Games maybe? Right now, from when this video is first uploaded, we're incredibly close to the next, or should I say first update of Chapter 5 Season 1 28.10, as it's currently on the staging servers, set to release with Solid Snake and the 3 pages of Super Styles on January 23rd, 2024. Do not worry if you're watching way past then, as these juicy storyline developments we're about to mention are still going to be relevant, or you may even see coming true right in front of your eyes. These of course are going to be displayed throughout the next updates and what's added to Fortnite within this season, as we have all the other dates on screen right now which are expected. V28.10 we already mentioned January 23rd, V28.20 February 6th, V28.30 February 20th, and then finally the next season, Chapter 5 Season 2 March 8th. Of course all these dates could change at any time. March 8th of course is what's stated on the Battle Pass right now, which actually could change considering, as Not Jules Dev states here, theory according to the API, Chapter 5 Season 1 ends March 8th, while Chapter 5 Season 2 starts March 9th. This is either a really long downtime, a placeholder, or possibly a live event. Since live events started way back for the Blast Off one in Chapter 1 Season 4, who remembers this or this menu, let me know down below in the comments. With the start of a new chapter in that first season, of course we haven't seen a live event with all the new content added, especially now with these 3 new modes for the start of Chapter 5 Fortnite, Lego, Rocket Racing and Festival, as it seemed like we're seeing annual chapters from the gap between Fracture being a finale event of Chapter 3 and then the finale event of Chapter 4, The Big Bang, being the very next one. Players because of this, whether thinking about it or not, have subliminally unexpected a live event to be happening in this first season, but it might be where it all changes as the storyline's already kicking off. Even though the story wasn't a big part of the Big Bang cinematic or event in itself, the build-up was there between Jones and Sloan communicating, and now with us making our way onto the Chapter 5 island after the Big Bang event and a wormhole being created to another universe, kind of a remixed version of the Chapter 2 island from Putting the Work in Progress and the Chapter 2 island near each other. Jones of course is back in another snapshot form and he doesn't look like he's wasting time. His banana's been stolen and Hope, one of the Battle Pass skins, has agreed to try and find him because he's incredibly important. This team is known as the Underground, hence all the underground bases on the map, despite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kinda taking them over right now, which, believe it or not, has other developments that are set to be made, a stage 2 like this, and even all the other things stated on screen right now, such as a new mythic, supply drop, and even event pass that was meant to be upcoming, but I'm guessing it's maybe scrapped. Anyways, just like the conflict we saw between the two factions of the Seven and the Imagined Order in Chapter 3, the opposing faction to the Underground right now is called the Society, with all of the bosses around the map that we can get medallions off of belonging to this faction. What many people don't know, however, is despite Hope being a large part of the Underground, her sister, who's also a Battle Pass skin, Valerie, is the leader of this Society faction in itself. It's this faction that left Peely's head sticker behind with writing on the back stating that they have the Underground's banana, or specifically Jones's banana, with this resulting in not only a missing poster replacing Peely if you have the skin earned in the Chapter 1 Season 8 Battle Pass Tier 47, but also they're scattered across the island right now alongside some Season 2 teasers which we'll move on to in just a second, despite these two factions going head to head and Peely hopefully being found, which ultimately I believe is going to be shown in the next cinematic trailer. Speaking of Season 2 but not of Chapter 5, rewinding the clock, although we're not going through a time machine like event anytime soon, many Chapter 5 Season 2 Battle Pass skins or in relation to them from their agent lairs have washed up on the Chapter 5 island, including a picture of what's believed to be a reimagination of the agency. Midas being the level 100 skin of Season 2 Chapter 2 is not with the others in terms of the props added. Instead, this chair can be found in this particular building, almost looking the Chapter 5 island as if he's lurking in the background, and from going over to the Grand Glacier Hotel despite it being kind of revamped in gold, hence the Midas touch of him returning, which we know is possible considering Donald must have confirmed before the Chapter 2 finale in a Twitter video that he is not dead, and also replied that the version of him that got eaten in the Chapter 2 Season 3 trailer was only a snapshot. These doors within the Grand Glacier Hotel are the exact ones entering Midas's lair with the other agents at the table within the Chapter 2 Season 2 trailer. Don't forget, despite being eaten also, Midas did return in Chapter 2 for Season 4 of 2020's Halloween event, being called Midas's Revenge in itself, almost like he came back for the dead as a different snapshot. It's believed the traditional Midas is going to be returning now more than ever, finally, after literally 4 years. The reason for this being is because, for those that don't know, Midas is based off of Greek mythology like everything else in Fortnite that has a really cool storyline or development process to it. Literally, even the codenames of the islands: Athena Chapter 1, Apollo Chapter 2, Artemis Chapter 3, Asteria Chapter 4, and Helios Chapter 5. In this Greek mythology, of course, Midas was a king, kinda like the snapshot of him we see in the form of Oro, simply being a skeleton wearing a crown. And of course, to further correlate to that, yes, everything he touched turned into gold. For those that didn't know, Oro was a snapshot of Midas. We can tell by the same mark on the skeleton as what's on Midas's eye. And despite everything already pointing toward Midas's return as previously mentioned, this Greek mythology theme going forward seems to enforce that furthermore, as Midas is not only from that predominantly, but from taking a look at the overall Chapter 5 island, it seems to largely resemble Europe, and a country within Europe itself is Greece, which directly seems to be the focal point in terms of inspiration for this new Chapter 5 island or map in itself. On top of that, despite the chapter or map codenames in themselves being Greek mythology, according to data miners, the next season codename is Aga, which translates to goat in Greek, maybe even just taking note simply of the fact each Season 2 of a chapter is a goated season, no pun intended, forgive me. Not only that, despite a ton of Fortnite survey skins being added, 40 more just before the release of Chapter 5, from taking a look on Fortnite.gg at all the unreleased survey skins as a whole, literally from scrolling through all of these, here are 16 on screen right now that correlate to Greek mythology, specifically Cerberus, which is this wolf character voted as number 1 that players want to be upcoming within the game overall, let alone the next season in the Battle Pass. Many people theorizing a skin or boss found in the files that's codename Aga C is Cerberus, considering this skin or name starts with a C from Greek mythology, on top of the King of the Gods, Thunder and Lightning himself, Aga Z, which we believe to be Zeus from Greek mythology. After all, it would completely make sense considering these effects also found in the files underneath the term Aga Z, which obviously are lightning correlating to Zeus, again the god of thunder and lightning and more. Come March 8th or March 9th, whenever this next season's going to be starting, whatever way it happens, whether we see a live event or not, or simply a trailer, literally one like for Chapter 5 involving both cinematic and gameplay. Would you like this to be the theme of the next season? After all, Fortnite are teasing it even furthermore now officially through this short form content they posted to Twitter and other socials.
The art and architecture at Ruined Reels is remarkable. These precious relics are rendered with an attention to detail many modern artists could only dream of. Many who view them have been brought to tears.
Don't forget, Fortnite never do anything on accident, so I highly doubt this is a coincidence considering everything we've already mentioned about next season's theme. And with that said, considering Ruined Reels is a hotspot right now, literally Greek themed out of all the Europe inspired areas or countries on the map, Epic Games probably thought, considering there is a screen right here, it wouldn't be too obvious that these movie posters could have something to do with the next season, not some of them just simply trying to blend in as such, simply a movie poster alongside the missing Peely one, but this middle one out of the bigger 3, Odyssey 6, clearly shows that we may be seeing a giant mountain location with Greek architecture-like buildings on the top once again. As you can see, there seems to be a mountain range like we already have right now on the island, but then this one is astronomically bigger. Although it's been determined from blog posts according to data miners that the snow is going to be melting backwards across the final 3 updates of this season, 28.10, 20 and 30, as we can literally see the final stage or so, we believe, on the train station kind of screens or billboards right now that are in game. Maybe some of that snow or icy theme is here to stay, with a giant mountain being added bigger than the rest, or bigger than the highest one on the island right now, being Mount Olympus as a POI or landmark. Maybe in the next updates a few smaller live events such as the earthquakes, what we saw in chapter 4 season 2, resembling or building up to the cracking of the earth, revealing the jungle underneath in the season 3 of chapter 4 trailer. Or maybe no in-game teasers happen like the transition from chapter 3 season 1 to chapter 3 season 2, where we saw the giant imagined order drill randomly appear from underneath the earth's crust, but instead it's a giant mountain rising that we see the characters looking up to, which would honestly make an incredibly cool story or cinematic trailer. Drop a like now if you'd love to see that when the time comes, and subscribe with all notifications turned on so you don't miss any future leaks or uploads here on the channel. Do not forget to enter code FM1 now inside the item shop for when new cosmetics release inside the new updates before season 2, and that battle pass also. In terms of where you go to now, click either of these 2 videos YouTube's recommended you. After all, it's the best suggestion whilst you wait for the very next one I do publish here on the channel.